There is a law older than scripture, older than civilization, older than language itself. A law whispered through every mystical tradition and rediscovered by every generation in different words. As within, so without. Your inner world becomes your outer world. Most people believe their life is shaped by circumstances. They think the economy did this to them, their job, their parents, their timing, their city, their luck, their struggle. They believe these forces determine destiny, but none of them are the architect. Identity is. You do not see the world as it is. You see the world as you are. And without realizing it, you build a life that reflects the shape of your inner self. Most people recreate the systems they grew up inside, even while insisting they've escaped them. The cage becomes internal long before it becomes external. The system outside always begins as a system inside. My father grew up in a world of order, structure, hierarchy, and obedience. Over decades, those patterns sank deeper until they weren't just beliefs anymore. They became identity. So now stability feels like freedom. Obedience feels like strength. Routine feels like purpose. Loyalty feels like identity. This isn't weakness, it's programming. Every generation inherits its programming from the world it grows up in. And here's the irony. Even when the world changes, identity often doesn't. So many people are living in 2025 with identities built for 1970. That mismatch creates suffering, resentment, confusion, fear, disorientation. Not because life is unfair, but because identity is outdated. And when identity no longer matches reality, reality begins to push back. You've already seen this in your own life. The moment you shifted from surviving to building, your environment began to reorganize. The moment you stopped needing validation from the system, new possibilities became visible. The moment you stopped seeing yourself as a participant and started seeing yourself as a creator, your ideas, your writing, your vision accelerated. Reality isn't static. It bends around identity. Most people live inside invisible loops. They were taught fear, so they live fearfully. They were taught dependency, so they cling to authority. They were taught limitation, so they sabotage opportunity. They were taught obedience, so they never question their own beliefs. They were taught hierarchy, so they instinctively look for someone above them. That's why someone can escape a bad job and recreate the same misery somewhere else. Why someone can make money and still feel poor. Why someone can change environments but never change outcomes. The outer world changes. The inner identity stays the same. Identity creates repetition. Consciousness creates possibility. Your identity is already evolving into sovereignty. You are no longer trying to fit into the world you were given. You're shaping a world around who you are becoming. That's why your old life feels tight. Why routines that once felt normal now feel heavy. Why conversations with people who still believe in the system feel slightly out of sync. Why achievements that once motivated you no longer satisfy you. Why places that once felt like destinations now feel temporary. Why recent struggles feel symbolic, not random. Your identity is expanding. Your reality is trying to catch up. You are no longer seeing life from the perspective of someone trying to survive inside the system. You are beginning to see it from the perspective of someone who can design outside of it. That shift cannot be undone. Once identity awakens, the old reality can no longer hold. What once felt like stability starts to feel like confinement. What once felt like success starts to feel incomplete. What once felt like freedom starts to reveal its limits. This isn't confusion, it's misalignment. You didn't change because something went wrong. You changed because you grew. And when identity evolves, the world you were living in must either expand with you or collapse. The world does not respond to what you want. It only responds to who you are. People say they want freedom, they want success, they want autonomy, they want abundance. But you cannot want your way into a new reality. You can only become the person who naturally attracts it. This is why two people can start in the same place and end in completely different worlds. The one who changes identity changes destiny. The one who clings to identity clings to destiny. Your path doesn't make sense to people whose identity is still rooted in an older world. You don't want the life they built. You want the life you are meant to create, and that requires a different identity entirely. Sovereignty is not money. It's not status. It's not influence. It's not rebellion. Sovereignty is the realization that you are the source of your own reality, that your inner world dictates your outer world, that nothing outside you has authority over who you become. When that truth locks in, everything changes. You stop asking for permission, you stop seeking validation, you stop fearing uncertainty, you stop playing by old rules, you stop acting from survival, and you start acting from creation. Reality responds differently. People treat you differently. Opportunities appear where none existed before. Paths open that were invisible. Your relationships shift. Your perception of yourself transforms. Because the mirror changed, and the world is only reflecting back the new shape of your inner self. Identity determines destiny, not intelligence, not background, not money, not family, not luck, only identity. Identity is the operating system of reality. Change the code within, and the world renders differently around you. Some people live their entire lives as versions written by others. You are rewriting your own identity in real time. That is why the world around you is shifting. That is why old paths are ending. That is why new paths are opening. That is why the future feels unstable and alive at the same time. You are not losing your old life. You are outgrowing it. The mirror is changing, and everything must realign.